Every 2 years the Donald Louise Trust set a challenge to individuals to raise money for, you've been around, or if you haven't been around, you'll be around, a wonderful facility here for young children and young adults who are not as fortunate, in their lives as what we are. I've enjoyed the challenges. We've cycled from John O'Groats to Land's End, we've walked Kilimanjaro, and we've rode from Tower Bridge to the Eiffel Tower, which took us 6 or 7 days to do, which have all been very, very challenging. And this is going to be up there, looking at what Mel has set out and what the Trust has set out. This is certainly not going to be a walk in the park.
I say this every single year, this is the toughest, but I genuinely believe this time this is the toughest challenge that we've ever done. Because it's never been done before, we can't go to somebody else and say, how was it? How did it work? How did it feel for your body physically and mentally to go from on a bike, then into a rowing boat and then onto foot. So we just don't have that reference to look at. And also it is going to be done over 4 days non-stop, so the guys are not going to be sleeping, they're going to be deprived of sleep for 4 whole days and then having to perform mentally, emotionally, physically, having to get on with each other because it's a real team effort, because they cannot get from Paris to London without the whole team.
The mental challenge is something that you can't prepare for. The lack of rest, sleep. And there's things along the way that hit you that you've never experienced before. So mentally, you've got to be very, very tough to do it. And it's, I think this is probably the most difficult challenge that we've had, because there's no breaks in between. So it's going to be really tough.
The challenges as such, don't sound too bad, but the fact that we're going to have no rest and no sleep really in between over those 4 or 5 days is going to make it really tough, and you can't replicate that in the training you do. So that'll be an interesting one to sort of see how we cope with that.
Well, he should be running it. Or is he about 30 years younger than me? He shouldn't have to train or do anything. He's a naturally fit lad, a wonderful kid. One of my favourite players that I had at Stoke. I rode the Channel with his wife 2 years ago, and she's as determined as what Rory is. They're a great family, and they spend and invest a lot of their time in this trust and this place.
I'm used to him shouting at me, so I'm sure he'll be a motivation to everyone on the challenge. And it's great. I've kept in touch with him since we both left the club. As someone, I ask for advice about now I'm coaching and stuff, and he's more than happy to help. And I owe a lot to him for the back end of my career, what we managed to achieve, and hold him in high regard. And I just won't be making him too many green teas.
I was first introduced to the charity 10, 12 years ago when it was just a little house, and what the people here have done, it's just been extraordinary. It's a wonderful place to be in. The work they do, the people who work here are just saints. They're absolutely wonderful people, and they give their lives for people who are not as fortunate as us. They've not been dealt the hands that we've been dealt with. And I keep saying, this is my last one, this is my last one. And then, you come here and you feel the place, you feel the love that's in you and the people that are around you. And it just, it just makes you want to do something else for them.
He's always said wherever he ends up in the world, he will always come back to supporting the Donald Louise, because this charity and the people involved in the charity and the children and the families that we support means so much to him. So we're absolutely delighted to have him on board. Not only does he have a really high profile, but also he feels so passionately about what we do, and he's a very passionate fundraiser as well, and advocate for us. So we have a website, www.towertotower.org, and you can find out all you need to know about the challenge, and there's also an opportunity for you to go and donate. So it takes you through to a donation page, an online donation page. You can either just make a general donation to the whole team, or you can scroll down the page and find Tony's page and give him a donation.